Hey, what is up guys? This is Brett here from brettdev.com, and today in this video I'm going to be giving you a 5-step easy, simple framework that you can follow to start working online, to launch your own business, to become a digital nomad, even if you have no idea where to start. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I meet so many different people who start on this journey, and they tend to go down rabbit holes. They tend to do things backwards. There are key critical things that people don't think about when they first get started, and they spend years trying to figure this stuff out. All right, so if you follow these 5 steps and if you go through them in this sequence, you stand a much higher probability of actually succeeding in whatever endeavor you choose to pursue in your quest to become an online entrepreneur or a digital nomad. Okay, it's going to work for you whether you decide you're going to become a freelancer, whether you want to build an app, whatever type of online business you want to create. These key steps are vital. Okay, it's so important that you go through the process in this order. Now, if you want to follow along with these steps, I've actually created a free guide, which is kind of the contents of this video, but you can actually take this, download it, keep it, print it out. You're going to want to kind of keep a hold of that and reference back to it to make sure that you're going along in order. With that said, let's get into it. These are my 5 steps, starting with step 1. Okay, so before you even set out on your journey and before you even start your online business, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, what do you want to do and why do you want to do it? So the approach most people take is they have shiny object syndrome, and they look around at what's hot, what's not hot, what's going to pay the most money, what's not going to pay the most money, and they just dive into that. Okay, so I'm looking on YouTube, these guys are programmers, I need to become a programmer. I'm looking on YouTube, these guys are drop shippers, I need to become a drop shipper. This is a really, really bad way to start out your online career, because this is something that you are going to need to do for a long time, and it needs to be something that you're going to enjoy. So instead of saying what's going to make me the most money or what's the in thing right now, the questions you should be asking yourself is, what do I want my life to look like? How is going down this path going to impact my life? And when I am successful, what might my life look like? Now, if you're happy with working with other people and you like working with other people, then you might want to become a freelancer, for example. If you don't like working with other people and you'd rather put in a lot more work up front, you might want to create a digital product. You might want to source a physical product. There's various different paths you can go down, but the question you need to ask yourself is not what's going to make me the most money, but how is doing this activity going to affect my life, and what is my life going to look like? So that's key. Everyone asks me this, Brett, what programming language should I use? What framework should I learn? All this stuff. And I say, do you even want to be a programmer? You might even want to be a programmer. Do you know what your life's going to look like if you become a programmer? It might suck, okay? I used to program, now I do digital marketing because I did this. I went down the programming route because I was like, this is going to be it's going to make me a load of money. Hated it, okay? Much prefer online marketing. So I had to spend years to come back and actually figure this out. So it's essentially figure this out right at the start. That is step 1. What do you want to do and why do you want to do it? Once you figured that out, the next step, step 2, should be figuring out what problem do you want to solve. Okay, so if you decide, okay, I'm going to become a freelancer or whatever it is you want to do, what specific problem do you want to solve? I'd encourage you to define a specific problem, not just go into a field trying to do it all. Okay, so if you decide you want to become an online marketer, or if you decide you want to become a programmer or whatever it might be, you need to figure out what specific problem do you want to solve. You see, if you don't ever define a problem, this is how people get trapped in like tutorial hell when they're trying to learn new skills. Let's say, for example, you're going to go and learn app development. Yeah. Well, people start learning app development, they watch tutorials and they will just watch them forever and ever and ever and ever, and they'll never feel like they're good enough because there is no problem that they're trying to achieve. So they're trying to just become the best at the entire spectrum, which is impossible. This is how people get imposter syndrome. What you're much better off doing is defining one specific problem you want to solve and then just learning how to solve that, because that's what you're going to be selling. You don't need to become a genius at everything that you learn. Okay, I always say this when I'm teaching people online marketing, you know, you don't have to, online marketing is such a massive term. You don't have to know everything about online marketing. Like, I really like sales funnels, for example, and online ads. So just become good at those. Just learn those. I don't need to learn how Coca-Cola does their marketing. I don't need to know how big brands do all this other shit. Just focus on one particular problem, one particular thing you want to solve, and just learn that. That's going to get you to your end result a lot faster, and it's going to save you from this tutorial hell, tutorial purgatory that a lot of new digital nomads actually find themselves in, where they have, and then that develops into imposter syndrome. They never think they're good enough, and they just spend years and years and years learning a ton of shit that they're never going to use in their life. Okay, so that's step 2. Define a problem. What problem are you going to solve? The third step is to figure out what's involved in that. Okay, so to do your research. Now, once you've decided, I'm going to define this, I want to solve this, I want to do this particular thing, I want to solve this particular problem, what is it going to take in order for you to actually do that? Are you going to have to learn a new skill in order to accomplish what you want to accomplish? If you want to offer a specific service to a client, are you skilled enough to offer that service? Remember, it doesn't have to be the everything service, just define one thing, but to do that one thing, are you going to have to go and learn that, or do you already know it? Maybe you already know it. Okay, and if you don't, look out there. Is there an online course that will teach you how to do exactly what you need to do? Is there a book you can read where you can shortcut the time it takes to learn how to do that particular thing? Are there communities that you can join? Look for all of these resources that will give you a shortcut into figuring out how you can solve that problem that you want to solve, and then use that to kind of jump past the whole learning process, okay? Because like I said, you only need to learn a small thing, and there may be some resources out there that can actually help you to do that really, really quickly. Another thing to make note of is think about how long it's going to take you, okay? So this is step 3. This is do your research, figure out what's involved, figure out how long it's going to take. And unfortunately, what most people do is they underestimate how long things will take. So if you think it's going to take you 6 months, I would say give yourself a year to 18 months to learn to do whatever it is you want to do, or to get your business up and running, okay? Just be realistic. 2 to 3 times longer than you think it's going to take. That way you're not going to be disappointed, you're not going to quit, you're not going to give up. You've got to set realistic expectations on yourself, okay? You're not going to solve the world's problems or create a massive online business for yourself in a couple of months. It's just not realistic. So now that you know what you want to do, why you want to do it, what's involved, most people right here, what they do is they jump into actually going away, learning their skill set. They say, okay, I want to become a web developer. This is why I want to do it. I definitely want to do it. That's going to be my career choice. I would love that. Sitting on the computer coding all day, fine. And then they say, okay, well, I know I could do this for this type of client. I can solve this problem. Okay, fine. They do the research, they go, yep, I could learn that in 6 months, fine. Then what they do is they go and they start learning it. Big mistake. Do not do anything yet. Now, you can go and you can do that if you want to get an online job. However, this is a video about how you become a digital nomad and how you create an online business and be an entrepreneur. So there are 2 more vital steps that you need to take if you're going to go down this path. Step 4 is you need to figure out whether or not what you have decided to do is viable. Will this be something that you can actually make money doing? I always say this to people, the digital nomad scene is like a graveyard of really, really smart tech people that don't know how to make money. Once you've gone through steps 1 to 3, step 4 is to figure out, will somebody actually want to buy this from you? Will somebody actually give you money for what you want to do? Is it viable in the market? A really good way to figure this out is to simply look to see if other people are doing it. Okay, so a lot of people believe that they've come up with this unique, special idea. They go and look out there into the marketplace, they get online, they do the research, and they go, no one's doing this. I'm the first person to come up with it. I'm going to be super rich. If nobody else is doing it, it's probably because it's a shit idea. Okay, so go out there, look online, and find out if anybody else is doing what you want to do. If you see other people doing what you want to do, then that is a really, really good sign. Once you've found other people that are doing what you want to do, look at how they market their services or their products to their customers. Because all you're going to need to do is you're going to have confirmation that it's viable because other people are doing it. And then when it comes to actually you selling your product or service, you're just going to copy what they're doing. Okay, if there's a method to market what it is you want to sell, You don't need to reinvent the wheel, okay? Just copy the method that other people are doing. But if there's nobody else doing it, it's probably a bad idea. So step 4, you need to make sure that whatever it is you want to do is actually viable, that you can actually get paid for it, that people actually want it. Once you have all of those things in order, this moves us on to step 5, which is you need to create a minimum viable launch. People talk about minimum viable product. I say minimum viable launch, because you have to actually launch your idea into the world. To do this, you need to do 3 things, okay? You need to learn the absolute minimum amount of stuff that is necessary and no more. So whether you're providing a service to somebody, whether you're building an app, whatever it might be, you need to get it to its absolute, just acceptable level, okay? It only has to be acceptable. You don't need to be an expert, you don't need to be a pro, you just need to be good enough. You just need to learn enough. And if you do what I said in the earlier steps, where you actually define a problem, you're not going to need to learn that much. You're not going to need to build that much, okay? But it's just got to be good enough. That's number 1. Number 2, you need to then package it up. So package up whatever services you're offering, package up whatever product you're selling in a way that is simply acceptable. So it's presentable, it's clear, it gets the message across, people can understand what exactly it is you're presenting. And number 3, you need to actually put it out there into the marketplace. You need to actually try to sell whatever it is you're trying to sell. Whatever your business is involved in, whether you're a freelancer offering services, whether you've built an app and you want to sell your app, you need to actually try to sell it. So this is step 5, we're right at the end, but this is kind of the beginning phase of your journey. And this is where everybody fucks up. Okay, so when it comes crunch time, everybody wants to sit behind the computer, but when it comes crunch time to actually sell what you're offering, you have to actually try. You cannot freeze up and say, well, you know, I thought I wanted to be in business, I thought I wanted to create an online business, but you know what? I'm too afraid to go out there into the world and sell it. If you can't do that, then you should never even get started, all right? Because you have to try. This is another reason why people go down rabbit holes of learning every programming language in the world and studying every online business model that comes out, whether it be drop shipping. Oh, this month I'm doing drop shipping, this month I'm doing Amazon FBA, this month I'm going to be a programmer, this month I'm going to be an English teacher. Okay, people just never ever stop learning because they're afraid to try. That's the biggest problem. Like I say, learn a tiny little bit, learn the absolute minimum you need, build the absolute minimum product that you need, package it in a way that's acceptable, that's understandable, and then just put it out there. Even if it sucks, it doesn't matter, as long as it's acceptable. You have to try. That is the absolute key. Step 6, yes, I've added an extra step. This is like a bonus step, I guess you could say. Once you try, once you put whatever it is you're offering into the world, you then need to get feedback, you need to adjust, and then you need to repeat. Okay, so whenever we create anything and whenever we start an online business, whenever we, if I put YouTube videos out like on this channel, I don't know if they're going to do good or not. I never know. Okay, the only way for me to know if a video is going to do well is I put it out there and I see. And I look at the views and I look at the stats and I look at what's going on and then I make adjustments. You're not going to ever be able to tell whether what you want to do is good or not. It's usually the complete opposite. Whenever you think whatever you have is shit, people usually love it. And whatever you think is really great, people usually hate it. But the point is, if you're starting an online business, if you want to be a service provider, if you want to sell a product, whatever you want to do to make money online, you're not going to know whether it's going to work or not. First, you have to try, and then you have to get feedback, and then you iterate, and then you change it. You guide the directions you take by the feedback you get from the market or from your customer or from your audience or whatever it might be. And that is the fastest way to create something that people actually want. No matter what it is, like I say, if you've got a web design package, if you're doing an SEO package, whatever it might be, try it, try to sell it. Find out why people don't want it. Maybe people will want it. You find out why they don't want it, then you make it, you change it so it's something that they do want. Okay, so you have to iterate, you create these feedback loops, and that's how you get to success much, much faster. So that's it, guys. Those are my 5 steps to becoming a digital nomad, and you can apply these to whatever it is you're doing, whether you're becoming a freelancer, whether you're creating products, starting a bit, well, it doesn't matter, okay? Just follow these 5 steps, and you're gonna stand a much higher chance of success. The 5 steps are, again, start with why. What are you trying to do, and why do you want to do it? Step 2, define an actual problem, okay? Give yourself something to target, a focus. You don't need to learn everything, you don't need to know everything, just define an actual problem that you want to solve. Step 3, do your research, okay? Find out how long it's going to take, what else you need to learn in order to pull it off. Figure that stuff out ahead of time. Step 4, figure out, is it viable? Are other people doing this? Will people actually give me money for this? And step 5, actually get out there and try. Try and actually do it, and then create feedback loops so that you can actually build your offer or build your product around what your market actually wants, okay? It's not about what you think is great, it's about what people actually want. That's it for the video, guys. As I said, if you want to download these 5 steps, I'm going to leave them in the description of this video so you can reference this as you go through your journey and as you start to become a digital nomad, as you build your online business. Stick to this plan, do these steps in this order, and don't like get to step 3 and then just start, you know, going off on a tangent like most people do. Go through these steps. You'll have a much more comfortable ride to becoming a digital nomad. And hopefully that has helped you. This has come from years of experience from myself and years from seeing dozens and dozens and dozens of people, chatting to dozens and dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of digital nomads, all doing different things. I've observed, I've seen from my own behavior, I've seen from others' behavior, and I've seen what works and I've seen what doesn't, okay? So this is why I've sat down to create this video. Anyway, that's all for now, guys. Don't forget, check out the link, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now. Cheers.